Today we're going to be teaching you how to make this plywood countertop. First, I cut my plywood sheet down to size by measuring the space and then using a jigsaw to cut out the different nooks that I needed. Then I used a wood conditioner over the entire piece of wood before applying the stain. I used gloves and a staining pad to apply a dark walnut stain. And then I just wiped off any excess to get the color that I wanted, allowed it to dry, and then I finished it with a satin spar urethane finish. Next, I created braces along the walls using 2x1 pieces of wood. I measured each of the spaces along the wall, and then I leveled them out, drilled them into the studs in the wall, and if you don't have studs, you can obviously use drywall anchors if that's better. I didn't show this part, but I did actually build a small box to put under the center of the counter to support it. I used scrap wood and then I used scrap fabric underneath it so it didn't scratch the top of the washer or dryer. For the front, I used a 3x1 piece of wood, cut it to size, stained the front the same way that I stained and sealed the top of the counter. Here I'm going along the back of that board and measuring down 3/4 of an inch the thickness of the plywood, and then I'm screwing in a scrap piece of wood. I think it was 1x1 inches. So I'm lining it up with the measurements that I measured from the top and then just pre-drilling a hole through and then screwing it in place all along the way. Then I'm just pre-drilling holes through that wood the opposite direction so that I can screw up into the bottom of the plywood. So I lined it up with the counter and I let the plywood rest on that small board that I attached to the back of the front piece, and now I'm just drilling up through the pre-drilled holes to screw it in place. Then I set the countertop on top over the braces.